Alright guys, more Pythagorean theorem. I know that you guys love this, especially Elijah Sweetwine. Alright, so today we're going to find the distance between 2 points. Again, Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And here are just some steps. Steps to finding the distance between 2 points. Graph the given points if necessary. Sometimes you won't have to, sometimes you'll already be given a line segment and we'll just be asked to find the distance. Second is to connect the points to form a right triangle. Remember, the Pythagorean theorem only works with a right triangle. Third, you're going to label the legs by counting the units, and I'll show you what I mean when we do an example. And lastly, you're going to use the Pythagorean theorem to find the missing piece or to find the distance between what's normally going to be the hypotenuse. So let's go ahead and jump into an example so you can see what the heck I'm talking about. Okay, there are no directions here, but if you notice on your notes page, it'll say find the distance from point A to point C. So again, that's my hypotenuse. Now, before I have to do that, I have to figure out how many units the legs are. And this is pretty easy. I can just count them. So from A to B, it's 1, 2, 3 units. I'm going to go ahead and label that. Let's do the same thing from B to C. B to C is 1, 2, 3, 4 units. Now, my last step here is just to use the Pythagorean theorem to figure out C to A. Alright, so I have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I want to figure out what my hypotenuse is, so I'm going to plug in for my legs. 3 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. 3 squared is 9, 3 times 3 is 9, plus 4 squared, which is 16, equals c squared. 9 plus 16 is 25. If you take the square root of both sides, c equals 5. So the distance between c to a is 5. Let's do another example where we have to plot the points. Alright, what is the distance between the points 0, 4 and 5, 1? The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and graph these points. So we'll do 0, 4 first. Go where x is 0, and then go up to where y is 4. Boom, right there. Alright, next one is 5 and 1. So go to where x is 5, y is 1. Boom, right there. I'm going to go ahead and draw my points. Now what I want to do is go ahead and draw legs to form a right triangle. So I can go ahead and connect these points. And then I just have to draw the rest of it to get a right triangle. Again, how do I get from this point to this point? Alright, my next step is to label my legs. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how many units each one is. So to get from 1 to 5, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. And then to get from 1 to 4, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 units. Now, my last step here is to find that missing piece from point 0, 4 to 5, 1. So again, I'm going to plug in, I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So I'm going to have 5 squared plus 3 squared equals c squared. Well, 5 squared is 25. 3 squared is 9, which equals c squared. Now, if I go ahead and add 25 and 9 together, that's going to give me 34 equals c squared. But I'm not finished yet. I have to use, take the square root to get rid of that exponent. So c equals the square root of 34. If I want to get really particular, I can go ahead and estimate that number. And I'm going to say it's roughly about 5.8 units. You can estimate that on your own. We don't need to practice that skill again. So that's the distance. Alright guys, that's our lesson for today. Let's go ahead and crush it. We only have a limited amount of time left before the rest of our park test, and you guys are going to destroy it. I can't wait. Alright, let's practice.